Hey everyone, Cynics here. Today I have a special celebratory video for you guys. We finally reached 100,000 subscribers. It's been a long and lazy road, but we made it. So first of all, thank you to everyone that has subscribed to my channel, and I thought it would be a nice celebration to just do a fun and relaxing digital painting of something popular for you guys. So let's see, what's popular? Well, Nintendo recently came out with a new Zelda game, Breath of the Wild, and it got me to thinking, what if Zelda was a girl? Okay, I'm sorry, that's a dumb joke. But I do think it would be fun to draw some Princess Zelda for you guys, especially since Nintendo went through all of the trouble of putting her in yoga pants. Okay, here we go. I'm going to just start out with some loose gesture drawings. Not aiming for the actual illustration yet, just wanted to warm up by getting my brain acclimated to making dynamic female lines from imagination. Once that warm-up is over, I try and attempt at my Zelda illustration. Originally, I was thinking of some sort of thank you pose with her hands together in front of her. It seemed like an appropriate idea. I also decided to exaggerate the elven features much more, so like super giant pointy ears and a very narrow body and limbs. Overall, I do like this drawing, mainly because of the hands and dumped eyes, but it's a bit too simple and probably wouldn't work well for a video because of how vertical it is. I actually generally try to make YouTube artwork in the widescreen aspect ratio. I like to keep the camera locked in one spot for as much as I can. But whatever, let's try some more. I was thinking that we might need some sort of booty shot, as that does seem to be the focus of the Zelda in Breath of the Wild. But it's really difficult to make any sort of decent butt shot with the character's face in it and not have it feel super dumb or lewd. I also realized I'm not a huge fan of her torso-hugging top in the game. It seems like a much more fun idea to give her a looser fitting shirt, similar to what Link wears. At the very least, it seems more fun to draw. It's always good to practice those folds, and I do need practice because my fold game is kinda weak at the moment. I really started to enjoy the idea of one arm being held above her head. I was feeling a bit okay with this, so I decided to take this sketch and rotate it to fit on a horizontal composition. One of the other main things that jumps out in my head when I think about the new Zelda game is lots of rolling grass hills. It was at this point that I developed a very clear idea of what I wanted to do. I can have Zelda just lying down in some grass, looking relaxed and peaceful. This lets me get super crazy with the hair and really use it in the more purest graphical sense. Anyway, the folds in this shirt are definitely not perfect, but they will have to do. I gave her a simple closed eye look on the face, which allows me to sidestep some elements of how anime I should make her look. Anyway, at this point, I think we're ready to color. There's a slight adjustment to my method that you may catch. I've been trying to switch my line work to a saturated reddish tone anytime before I color. Not only will it look better with skin tones, but because the brush I use blends colors on the canvas, this will prevent it from picking up and smearing a lot of black into the surrounding colors. Dark red blends a lot nicer. With that out of the way, I'm just putting in basic flat colors. They might look a bit extra bright, but I also had already decided that I was going to do a cast shadow effect of foliage across the whole image later on. Also, I feel like this game just evokes a feeling of very bright and saturated colors, so it kind of works. Once that is done, I start rendering the skin. I'm trying to be as subtle as possible and not go too overboard with the whole hue variation thing this time. A quick pop of red airbrushing across the middle of the face and around the joints is really the only hue variation I need. Once that is established, you can just edge out the forms of the face a bit, still keeping it super minimal because I don't want to completely lose that anime look. Minimizing plane changes is a must when it comes to this style of art. The nose is really the only notable form shift aside from some minor subtlety around the eyes and mouth. I also wanted to throw in a little makeup, which I usually forget to do on my skin tones. When it comes to makeup styles, I'm definitely a sucker for dark eyes and light lips, so I definitely went with that look. Alright, while I mess around rendering more of the skin and hair and everything, I just wanted to say that you guys have really been great over the years. I really enjoy my fan base for these videos, and every single one of you that I've met in person have been super chill and wonderful. I feel pretty lucky to have an audience that's so dedicated and passionate about art. It's definitely going to be a tough road if I ever want to hit one of those bigger milestones, such as 1 million subscribers, because I'm really just making videos for people that are dedicated to art. But I'll definitely do my best to keep growing. Okay, I think we've wrapped up the basic painting stage. Now we just gotta bring in the gimmicks. I had been planning to do my old dumb trick of just duplicating the layer and making it dark and blue and then erasing chunks of it to show the light that's pouring through in between the cast shadows. I experimented with it a little bit, but that lazy old technique was definitely not doing this image justice. So while it did work nicely for adding some shadow shapes to the grass, it seems I will have to simply paint the cast shadows around on the figure itself. When doing this, it's important to remember not to overlay your previously established shadows with darker tones. I already have some small cast shadows scattered around, so I need to use that same established shadow tone to do all the additional cast shadows. It's a common mistake I see for people to have different shades of overlapping shadow tones even when there's only one light source. You know, bounce light aside. Anyway, leaves and things can be pretty chaotic, so I added some simplistic lines and branches in order to show some continuity between the cast shadows on the skin, clothes, hair, and grass. I realized that was an extremely important step, otherwise the viewer might not have understood what these cast shadows were. They might have perceived the shadows as some kind of weird skin condition or something unintended like that. This painting is almost finished at this point, so I'll just add some finishing touches. I went in and added some subtle floating dust effects, as well as some floating pink flower petals. Small pops of bright color can really go a long way. Additionally, making some of them super blurry adds a touch of depth and motion to the image as well. Finishing touches like these can really make a huge difference in your art, so I recommend trying it out. Always play around with that kind of stuff. Well, our Sleepy Zelda is complete. I'll be sure to post the art up somewhere, but in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching, and a huge thank you to all of my patrons as well, my heroes.